This is the Vaguely Nerdy Podcast, where every week this brother-sister duo gets together to discuss the box office, latest film and TV scoops, along with our latest movie or show review, and what we are getting into next. We're your host, Cheryl.
And Jay.
Hey, so today, or this episode, is our first year anniversary. Yay! So Vaguely Nerdy Podcast is officially 1. She's still a toddler.
Yes.
You know, she ain't quite in terrible 2s yet. So we still getting her together. But thank you for listening for our whole first year.
Thank you to our subscribers and to the people who send us very nice, positive things on all of our videos.
Because we get some crazy ones on the YouTube.
But it's been fun.
It has been fun. And we're going to keep on checking along, y'all.
We are.
Jay is on deck for trivia this week. So my mind is ready when
Sure.
you are ready to quiz me.
Okay, so there's not very much trap trivia that was interesting. So we're going to go with Josh Hartnett trivia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it shouldn't be too hard.
Okay.
Okay, so Josh Hartnett, like many acting greats, got his start in horror. What horror franchise did he get his start in? Very first film role. And I'll give you an extra point if you can guess the movie.
So franchise?
Yeah. So horror franchise is where he got his film acting started.
So the movie is not the name of the franchise?
I'm not going to tell you.
Oh, okay.
Most horror films, I'll have to say the title of the franchise.
I know, but
film.
okay. Halloween. Okay. Now,
Yes.
You want to tell you which Halloween?
Yes.
Can I describe the Halloween?
Sure. I mean, they're all.
There you go. Now, this
pretty
ain't
similar.
fair because I ain't seen all the Halloween.
There's so many.
Is it I know the answer to this. It's H2O.
Yes.
Ha-ha.
It is.
I know things, and I know things about movies I ain't seen.
Yes. Yeah, so he got his acting start.
How
His
old is that
very
movie?
first film role was in Halloween H2O, or Halloween 20 years later, that came out in 1998. If you watch the opening credits for the film, it says introducing Josh Hartnett.
Josh Hartnett.
His second film role was The Faculty.
Okay, I almost said The Faculty, but The Faculty's not a franchise, so I was like, can't be that
No,
one.
The Faculty isn't a franchise, but
Right.
it is the first horror picture that he had the leading role in. He was the lead in The Faculty, but he got his start as John Tate in Halloween H2O.
Okay.
He played Laurie Strode's son.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Dang, I don't know why I would think he would have been in something prior to that, because H2O is not like dirt old.
No, he was in TV first, but he
He
didn't hit the big screen until horror, which most acting legends break
He's probably
out
on
in
like
horror.
All My Children or Law and Order or something.
Yeah,
I'm
usually
sure.
they start out on like the stories, but he was in like young adult drama TV.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Josh, I see you. The horror guy. He's definitely a horror guy there at this point.
Yeah, so he sticks to it. That's good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Let's get into our 1-year anniversary episode.
Welcome, fellow movie buffs. I'm Jay.
I'm Cheryl.
Listen in as we break down movie and TV shows, tell you what's in the plot, and hear if we think you should have watched it when you had the chance.
Dun dun dun. Okay, so even though this is our 1 year, it's been quiet, and that's fair because I guess last week we had like a 3-hour episode on Comic-Con.
Yeah, it was a long one.
And Deadpool and Wolverine. But this week we're going to talk about Batman Cape Crusader, the animated show that just dropped day before yesterday.
Yeah.
So it's very fresh. We got a couple cars in the trailer park, so not full. We not at capacity. And then just a smile serving a Buncha Crunch before we get into our review for Trapped by M. Night Shyamalan.
Okay, so Batman the Cape Crusader, I watched the entire series.
Let's get it correct. It came out August 1st.
Yes.
Today is August 3rd. Jay has watched the entire series.
Couldn't put it down.
And I've watched 3.
Yes.
So we're doing the first 3 episodes of review.
Yeah. So we're going to review the first 3 episodes. I have finished the show.
That's good.
So we're going to review it without me spoiling or giving away any details for the rest of the show because I do think the show is good and it deserves to not be spoiled.
Thank you.
Yeah.
For the rest of us being me.
So Batman the Cape Crusader. This is an animated series that came out on Amazon Prime. It is being executive produced by Bruce Timm, who is the original producer of the original Batman the animated series, the OG show. But along for the ride is J.J. Abrams and Matt Reeves.
Yes.
Matt Reeves, known for Battinson, Batman, that we love right now, and Ed Brubaker. So it's a combination of the legends who made the animated Batman.
Has J.J. Abrams done any?
I don't think he's done any animated Batmans before this.
But
if
he's
he has,
J.J. Abrams.
But he is J.J. Abrams.
It's not new.
Right. So it's a blend of like the old school Batman creatives and the new school Batman creatives, which I think makes the show so good and keeps it fresh. We watched the first 3 episodes for the sake of this review.
We watched first 3. Jay watched all of it.
I'll just run down some of the main voice cast. So Bruce Wayne, Batman, is played by Hamish Linklater. He was at San Diego Comic-Con.
Oh, was he?
Which I did not know. But yeah, they had a Batman Cape Crusader panel
did.
there.
You know what? They did. I remember that,
He has been acting for a very long time. He was just in Midnight Mass, which is that show on Netflix about vampires that nobody knew was about vampires until they started watching it.
Right.
He was well received on that show. The voice of Alfred Pennyworth is by Jason Watkins. Eric Morgan Stewart voices James Jim Gordon, and Crystal Joy Brown voices Barbara Gordon. These are the 4 characters who appear in each of the episodes across the entire series. There are some additional voice casts.
A lot.
4 characters, known Batman characters that also appear in the show. Guest stars, we have Jamie Chung, who voices Dr. Harleen Quinzel. Christina Ricci voices Catwoman.
Okay. I see.
You didn't realize that?
I hear it. I didn't look it up, but I can hear it.
The thing about Amazon is every time you pause or move your mouse when you're watching it on the browser, it tells you the cast of it. So I had fun doing that to figure out who the voice cast were for each character.
You're right. I actually like that feature on Prime. I don't like the ads, by the way. But I do like that feature.
Diedrich Bader plays Harvey Dent. You might know him from Drew Carey Show. Yeah, he was one of his friends.
He's doing a good Harvey Dent. I can see it. I hear it now. I hear it.
And the last person I'll mention is John DiMaggio. He plays Bender in Futurama, but he also voices several Final Fantasy characters ever since Final Fantasy X came out, ever since they started using voice actors. Okay. You would remember him. I want to say...
Was he, you said Beyond 10? Was he
he voices Waka in Final Fantasy X.
Okay.
The Blitzball player.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I'm familiar.
Yeah.
I'm familiar. Interesting.
So that is the main voice cast of Batman the Cape Crusader. So first impression, thoughts. What do you think about the show?
So the show is, they call it superhero in a noir series. So it's giving dark, gritty. It's not like I'm trying to compare it to, it's not like Invincible or a What If. It's more of a crime thriller animated.
Yeah, it's like a 1940s
animated I guess it's supposed
series.
to be set, and it looks like the 40s. The style of the characters is definitely more old school. So I like the fact that the characters are they got a lot of personality.
Yeah.
From Batman plays Batman, and Batman's always Batman, but he does a very good Batman. Barbara I particularly like quite well. So Barbara and Jim in this are black. So yes, I'm biased because they're black. But Barbara's very animated. She's not, because Barbara's typically like an older white woman, right? Is she ever not?
Well, yeah, it's weird because so Jim Gordon's wife is named Barbara.
Right.
And their daughter's named Barbara.
Right.
They call her Babs for short. So
so
you
I guess
can
we
get
should
confused
specify
about which one is which.
Okay, I'll say I guess we should specify in this show Barbara's the daughter.
Yes.
We don't have the wife. We just have daughter and dad in this one. So Barbara's very animated. She plays a public defender in this.
Which I like.
Which is different. And then we had I like her dad, although to where I am at, her dad is not super prominent yet.
Okay.
So he's good. All the villains that show up have been crazy, but good. And the plot lines are actually like, each episode is kind of like a crime of the week.
Yeah.
So far, and I've only been on 3 crime of the week, but they're very good crimes.
Yes.
I guess. So it gives a very good like fun crime of the week that Batman's trying to solve, and he doesn't always solve it very easily. Like, he's Batman, so he's supposed to be like, you know, the guy who takes everybody out, but he get beat up a little bit.
Yeah, I like the fact that sometimes he's a little wonky.
Yes.
With his execution.
He makes some mistakes. You're like, man, what are you doing?
But it took me a while to realize that, they didn't make it super obvious. And if they did, they didn't make it super obvious to me that this was like the beginning.
See, I
didn't pick up on that until later in the series.
Okay, see, I realized it because at the beginning of the episode, some of the characters are kind of like questioning who this figure is. And I was like, oh, I don't think they know that like Batman is like a thing. So we're at the very early stages of people don't believe Batman is even like a person.
Right.
It's like a rumor, thief in the night situation.
Yeah.
So that was cool because typically when we get Batman, he's either already established, he's already working with Jim. You know, everybody, the police force hates him and all that good stuff. But we're like, or I don't know how old he is in this, but he's definitely like young Bruce.
Yeah, so he's supposed to be younger. It took me until Bruce, I guess. It took me until the end of episode 3 to realize that he has not broken out. He hasn't like done his breakout mystery yet.
Yes,
like
correct.
He hasn't faced an arch nemesis and solved like a super big case to where he's like notorious yet.
Yes, he's trying to clean up the side streets.
Yes,
he ain't on Main Street yet.
Right,
basically. Although I feel like the first episode was kind of Main Street, like, but he is definitely still making a name for himself unintentionally by trying to solve crimes, and the police are kind of like, leave us alone, Batman, we know what we doing. So we in that type of era of Batman.
Yeah, so the first 3 episodes are focused on 3 specific Batman villains. Episode 1 is focused on Penguin, which is Oswald Cobblepot in this version there, of Oswald, the series.
Because Penguin's a woman in this.
Yes.
Which it took me a second to realize. I was like, oh, she Penguin.
Yeah.
I liked her, though. She was good.
I liked it. I liked how ruthless she was.
She's definitely your typical Penguin, I guess.
She is. Yeah, and
she's almost like a Bane.
That goes into something I like about the rest of the show. It feels adult, but it's not like
gory.
It's not gory. They curse, but it's not like super vulgar.
I was gonna say it's not overly mature and it's not like super sexual.
Yeah,
or it's not sexual at all, I guess.
The characters are still very clearly cartoons. It's not like hyper realistic like the Watchmen is. It still has fun being a cartoon.
Yes.
I like the fact that even though she is like a super animated cartoon villain, Oswald Cobblepot, she's like a lounge singer, but also a mob boss, which doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
That's what threw me off when she was performing in that episode, and I was like, oh, she's Penguin.
But she's still, like, she's cartoony in a way, but she's still 100% committed to killing her children if necessary.
Yeah, very much so. Mm-hmm.
So I like the fact that it balances, like, the fun tones of being a cartoon show, but also the realness of this is
Gotham.
These are mob ties.
Right.
If you betray the mob boss, you will get stuffed in a box and drowned.
We still in Gotham City. Yes. Mm-hmm.
The episode 2 focuses on Clayface. Yeah. I think out of the 3, this is my favorite one. Out of the 3, this was my favorite one because I like this villain the best out of the 3. Okay,
you like Clay. I would have said if we pick it out of the 3 of that I've seen, I would like Penguin. Maybe because she was a woman and she was just very ruthless.
Yeah, Penguin was more fun of a villain.
Yeah,
because she had like
he had a reason.
She had the umbrella that she used as a sword, and she had like the goon, like the overly tall, buff goon.
Right.
She
who's supposed to do the dirty work while she doing the dirtier work.
Right. So she was definitely more fun.
Right.
I enjoyed the Clayface's Basil Carlo a lot more because once we got to the end and the reveal of who he was, well, I liked the mystery a lot more.
Okay, that's fair.
I liked following Renee Montoya, and
I did like the detective Renee in episode 2. Yeah. She was good,
and that's one of the characters that they didn't change too much. I think this Renee Montoya is pretty much the same as Renee Montoya is in every other show and movie. I think it reminded me of Renee Montoya from The Birds of Prey.
She did. Very much so.
Which
could have been the same
I enjoyed
character.
Renee Montoya in the Birds of Prey film.
Yes.
But I like following Renee Montoya and the investigation. I like the misdirects between the actors that she interviewed and then them dying and then discovering that they were fake bodies. And then the actor, the Basil Carlo, who turned out to be Clayface all along. I loved his monologue at the end when he was like, I spent my whole career trying to figure out what role fit for me. And
the whole time.
The role I really wanted was the villain. I loved that part.
He's like, actually, I'm supposed to be the bad person in real life too.
Yeah.
Surprise.
So that was my favorite episode out of the three and my favorite villain out of the three. But I did like Catwoman.
I like Catwoman.
In episode 3.
Now, what's funny about Catwoman is that she gave up her life of luxury, and at the end, she was living in some shack. And I was just like, girl, you dressed to the nines in a shack?
Yeah.
But, you know, you got to pay the rent. So she had to make ends meet, and she turned to a life of crime, which is not abnormal in Gotham City. So
I like that they changed it to she's also a socialite. Usually Catwoman's like the poor woman who fakes like being a socialite so she can steal.
They kind of flipped it, I guess, then.
Yeah, but instead she just she's a socialite who went broke and now that's why she steals now.
Yes. And her apartment was crummy. Like she living at her dad because her dad is in jail for tax fraud or something.
Yes.
And she tries to compare herself to Bruce Wayne. Like, oh, we're the same, you know, birds of a feather flock together. He's like, my parents is dead and your dad is in jail. Like, girl, we is not the same.
Right.
So that was cool. And then, so I guess you're right. That kind of flipped it. That was different. I like that.
And I liked her maid Greta.
Greta
was over her BS.
Greta wasn't playing no games, and Greta was like, I need to get paid.
Greta really wanted to be paid. Greta was tired of Selena Kyle bringing random cats home.
And does she normally ever had I guess no, because she's never been like a socialite.
No, so usually in the comics, Catwoman is she's not a socialite. She's just a cat thief,
right?
And she kind of burglar. She protects like the sex workers of Gotham City.
Oh, this is not the same.
And she's never poor. She steals. She's like a Robin Hood in a way. She steals from the poor, gives to the rich. She never steals from anybody who's poor. And she's like the protector of like her community. So I like the fact that they swapped it and made her like a socialite who refuses to live
a bougie
the regular
thief.
life.
Yes, a bougie thief living in a shack who ain't paying her maid is what they made her. But it was funny because she was clearly like delusional. Like, girl, get a grip. You are a thief.
And I like the fact that the whole reason she became Catwoman is because of Batman.
Yes.
And every time she got caught, she came out improved. Like when she went against Batman the first time, she found out he had tools. Yeah. So the next time she ran out, she had like she had some electric knuckles
that she didn't think was gonna work.
And she got herself a Catmobile because she saw the Batmobile.
Well, when in the episode where she says she tells her maid that we need to go to the auto shop, I'm like, what are we doing? And the next time we see her car, it's like decked out in like claws, and she obviously didn't up the engine power. I was like, girl, you doing the most to be a burglar right now.
Are there any other characters you want to shout out?
You shouted out Montoya. Yes. I really liked her in episode 2. We talked about Barbara, Jim, Penguin, Harvey Dent, which I love to hate.
Yes, they do a very good job at this is a different Harvey Dent.
It is very different.
It's very similar to the original animated series Harvey Dent. Oh. But a lot of people don't remember him. A lot of people remember Harvey Dent from The Dark Knight.
From the Nolan series.
Who's the noble guy who's not full of ego. He just wants to do what's best for the city. And this guy is the complete opposite. He's like all ego.
He's basically...
He claims to want to do what's best for the city, but really what he wants to do is be the mayor.
He's your standard wannabe politician.
Yes.
In this. And the role is written very good because you love to hate him and you just want to punch him in the face.
And that's what makes me also love Barbara Moore.
Because she's the one who want to punch him in the face.
She's the one who wants to punch him in the face. And she's like his rival in the courtroom. Mm-hmm. So on the note of Barbara Gordon, love Barbara Gordon.
She's one of the faves so far for the first 3 for sure.
I like the fact that, without spoiling future episodes, I mean, she's prominent through the rest of the series, but I like the fact that they give her things to do outside of just like being a damsel in distress or being Gordon's daughter. Like I like the fact that they gave her an attorney's job, so she doesn't have to like go through her dad to end
Do
up
stuff.
in danger, or go through her dad to end up like
Right.
working with criminals and stuff like that.
And
She has
she's
her
a-
own story.
She's a public defender at that. So she's
Yes.
not just working. She's not working under Harvey Dent. She's actually technically working against him, which is a
Right.
very interesting dynamic we don't typically get.
And I like the fact that her dad is like the police commissioner. So he's like pro Gotham PD. And
Right.
she's the public defender who knows that the Gotham PD is corrupt.
Trash.
So she's fighting an uphill. She has to fight the Gotham PD.
Right.
And she also has to fight the criminal underground.
Right.
With her clients and stuff. So I like the fact that she has that dynamic with her dad.
Right. I hate to say I like this, but it's funny how trash the Gotham PD actually is.
Yeah.
And they showcase it very well. I'm just like, y'all just a bunch of knuckleheads who are bought off and ain't doing nothing.
Yeah, the Gotham PD, and I like the fact that the Gotham PD characters, even though they're side characters, they appear
They got
like
personality.
in the background of every episode,
Yes.
and you know that they're gonna like show up and do something like
Yes.
important later.
Yeah.
And the last character I will shout out will be Dr. Harleen Quinzel.
Oh, yeah. She was...
It took me some getting used to. Definitely. It took me, I didn't get used to her until after episode 3.
Okay.
Further into the series.
Okay.
But I did like the changes that they made with Harleen Quinzel.
Okay.
I like the fact that she's her own villain. She's not. So if you don't know, Harley Quinn was not a comic book character.
Oh,
She
I
was
didn't know
created for Batman animated series.
that. Oh.
So she was created as a
Interesting.
henchman / love interest for Joker for
Right.
the animated series, and that's when she became a full-fledged DC comic book character. So this is supposed to be a play on the original Harley Quinn from the original animated series, 1940 style.
Oh.
But they made her own villain, her own character who's
So
not
she
tied to the Joker.
I was going to say, so she's not tied to Joker.
Yeah,
Okay.
so she doesn't go evil. Harley Quinn doesn't go evil lore-wise until the Joker turns her.
Right.
But in this show, she's
Got on nefarious purpose. Huh?
she's already kind of like got like a nefarious purpose behind her.
Okay. I didn't pick that up in episode 3 yet.
Well, because you know, it's if you finish the end of episode 3, it seems like at the end of that therapy session, she's trying to like get into Bruce Wayne's
Very much
mind.
so. It does seem like she's trying to get some. See, she doesn't seem sincere and really wanting to help Bruce.
No.
It seems like she just wants to quit some.
Yes, it
She
seems
wanna
like
be
she just wants
nosy.
to be in his business
She
a
want
little
to be
bit.
nosy. I was like, I know you Harley Quinn girl. I know your
Right.
name.
So I like the fact that they kind of plant those seeds that's like, she's Harley Quinn, and
she
this
also
isn't
Harley
the same.
Quinn.
This isn't the same origin, but you know she's Harley Quinn,
Right,
and
okay.
she's typically Joker's therapist, but. What are the implications of Harley Quinn being Bruce Wayne's therapist?
And she don't know he's Batman.
Right.
At least at this point. She
So
don't
they
know he's
kind
Batman.
of leave you wondering, like, where is this gonna go?
Interesting.
Her being like Bruce Wayne's therapist, or her trying to be Bruce Wayne's therapist.
Right. Yeah, it seems very nefarious.
Yeah. So
And I will also call out Lucius Fox, who is not who's only showed up like maybe for 2 seconds.
not prominent
twice.
But, yeah.
But has he ever been Batman's lawyer?
No. So
Okay.
Lucius Fox is usually just an executive at
Right.
Wayne Manor.
Exactly.
Sorry, not Wayne Manor. Wayne Enterprises.
Right.
He's usually not rich. So
Yeah.
they made some changes to this too. So
Right.
he is also like
He's
comes from a socialite family
Okay.
in this. And
Yeah, he's still black.
yes, and he's still black. And instead of just being like the guy he's usually the guy at Wayne Enterprises who knows he's Batman,
Right.
but helps him out and keeps his secret.
Mm-hmm.
He's doesn't seem to know
he's just
that
like
he's
the-
Bruce Wayne in this
And
series.
so far, well, I guess you would know.
I mean,
but
Batman.
he's just his lawyer.
Yeah.
But he's name dropped at least twice or
Yeah.
so. I was like, oh, Lucius. Oh, interesting. So
he,
yeah,
he does show up.
he do seem like a no nonsense lawyer though. So I give him that.
He does show up in a few of the episodes
Later on. Okay.
later on.
But he's not like a villain or something.
No,
Okay.
but he's his lawyer, so I'm
Okay.
interested to see what they're gonna do with that. If that,
Interesting.
how they
Yeah, because
if
when
they make him more important. Or
Because
if
when
he's
he
just gonna
said his
stay a
name, I
small
was like,
character.
oh, wait a second. Since when was he a lawyer? So that was a different change up. But yeah, cool. Every character, when they show up on the screen, got some personality. And that's, I think, what I like most about this show is that everybody on your screen is doing something significant.
Yeah, I think they do a really good job with the writing. It doesn't feel it's nostalgic. It reminds you of watching like a Saturday morning cartoon, but
Yes.
you don't feel like a child watching a Saturday morning. You don't feel like an adult watching a cartoon, a child's cartoon. You feel like a person watching like a regular animated TV show.
I was trying to compare it to X-Men 97. They got the same adult-ish vibe. X-Men 97 is not as, what do I want to say? I guess X-Men 97 is more kid-friendly, but it's still got adult.
X-Men 97 is more sunny.
Yeah, there it
even
is.
Though,
it's not
even though
dark
it deals
and
with
grim.
like death and discrimination,
There it is.
It still feels brighter
I was
and
gonna
more
say,
colorful.
The themes of X-Men 97 are definitely there.
This definitely
it's more colorful though.
Yes, X-Men 97 definitely feels more like a kid's cartoon.
Yes.
This feels like a kid's cartoon in the style of like The Godfather.
Okay, that's a good one. That's
Yeah.
a good one.
Yeah.
I can go with that. But it's good as well. It's good so far because what I see, Jay is telling me to get on it, so I'm probably gonna finish it this weekend. And then we'll come back, and then I think we should just review the rest of it.
Yeah, it definitely. I really loved the season finale. I'll say that it left me wanting more.
Do we know if it's getting a season 2 yet?
It has not been announced
yet?
for a season 2.
Okay.
No.
I mean, it did just come out, so
but
maybe we should.
It's currently sitting at 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. I've seen nothing but positive reviews about it.
Yep.
Online and on social media. Everybody seems to love it. Everybody seems to be sad that it's only 10 episodes.
10 episodes. Us older generational folk are used to shows being like 24 episodes. So when we get anything less, we're like, more, please, more.
Yeah, we're used to shorter season lengths mean hour-long episodes.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't think these episodes need to be stretched out anymore. It made it fun that they were short,
Sweet.
fun mysteries
Yeah.
that you wanted to see through the end. They weren't super hard to follow,
Nope.
but they did keep you invested.
Mm-hmm.
I like that a lot of the ending of the episodes, they don't officially get rid of a villain.
You're right.
They leave it open-ended where you know the villain or the character that
They're
was
coming
focused
back.
on the episode is going to come back.
It's coming back.
That's what makes it fun. I like the little touches they added in episode 1. A little touches of behind-the-scenes Batman that they add. So in episode 1, when he has to jump off the yacht before he gets caught by Oswaldo,
Yes.
and he climbs back on, and he uses the same joke twice.
Yeah.
I love the fact
And
that
Barbara is in the vicinity of it, and she's just
I
in
love
the
the
back
fact
like,
that she catches it.
God, you're such a man.
So I love the fact that he's, as Bruce Wayne, he's so fake that
Yes.
he'll tell the same joke twice in earshot as long as it like he obviously pre-rehearsed the joke.
He plays Bruce Wayne very well.
Yes.
I will get his Bruce Wayne is the perfect billionaire jerk.
And you don't suspect that. You wouldn't
Yes.
suspect that he's Batman because
Right.
he's probably just so like aloof and airheaded. He's annoying.
Yes,
Like,
that's what everybody thinks. Everybody thinks he's just a rich billionaire kid who's flaunting his money around. Oh, and they mention his women several times. Like
They do.
Floozy, Huzzy, a chick on his arm. So yes, he's definitely playing up that to totally distract the fact that he's Batman.
There's another part later on in the episode that's not a spoiler, but he is he discovers a crime scene, and you always wonder how the police show up at a crime scene, but Batman's already there.
Yes.
So there's a scene later on where he discovers a crime scene. He's got all the information he needs. So he radios Alfred and says, "Alfred, wait 2 minutes and then call the police," because that's how he does it behind the scenes when you're wondering why Batman
Knows
randomly
everything.
appears or randomly escapes from a scene. It's probably because he waited 2 minutes
Right.
before the rest of everybody else showed up
Right.
first.
That's
So
funny.
I love the little touches they give to show that he's new at this.
Yeah,
so
it's a good series.
he's like supernatural in the sense that he's a superhero, but
Right.
they're actually going to show you like he
What he's
doesn't
doing
actually
behind the scenes.
actually disappear when you turn around.
He actually has to walk
Yes.
like a normal person.
Or he has to like hide for a second and then like finish getting away.
Or he has to drive away.
Or he has to drive away.
A couple of the times in the first 3 episodes, somebody says, "Ooh, that's a nice car." When we see him driving away in his Batmobile,
Yes.
it's like, yeah, he's just driving home, just like regular.
Yeah. So we should absolutely come back next week and finish our review of the rest of the series. If you are listening to this review, absolutely check it out. If you haven't, if you have, absolutely let us know your thoughts and if you're loving the show or not, as much as we are.
Tune in, people. Tune in.
All right, so that is our short review of the first 3 episodes of Batman Cape Crusader. Please check it out on Amazon Prime. Let's roll into the trailer park.
Toot toot. Beep beep. We're not gonna be here for long.
No.
First trailer that we got this week was for Subservience, which comes out September 13th. Did I say that right?
Yes.
Oh, you looked at me like, girl.
Because of the title.
Oh, so you just jacked up a title again.
No.
Okay, so it comes out September 13th, which is in a month, which is interesting that we just got this trailer, but not my business. It's starring Megan Fox and Michelle Monroe?
Michelle Marone.
So let me get to the movie here. The movie follows a struggling father, who I'm going to assume is Michelle, purchases an android to help care for his family and his house, unaware that the android will gain awareness and turn deadly. And Megan Fox is playing the android.
Yes.
You can, without even watching this trailer, you already know how it's going to go.
So we're just going to go through the plot of the film, since it was pretty much given to us in the trailer.
Right, pretty much the whole movie.
So a stupid couple purchases a hot robo nanny.
Super hot.
And the husband,
supposedly,
being a man, sleeps with the robot.
We're not going to ask how. I don't want to know how, actually. How about we not?
So he begins to have an affair with the artificial intelligent robot Megan Fox, and is surprised when she turns out to be crazy and wants to kill his family.
Because he wants to stop the affair. Yeah. And it's just like...
So a single white female, but with Siri. Which is so stupid.
I just don't... The trailer... Look, Megan Fox is not really even convincing as a robot to me. She's still... Like, she's not acting like a robot. She's just acting like a single white female. Yeah. I'm just like, no, girl, you're supposed to be a robot.
Yeah. So it's basically like a horny grown-up Megan, which is because it's Megan Fox.
It's literally Megan.
I think this is gonna be trash. This is gonna be funnily compared to the Megan follow-up, Megan 2.0. But remember, Blumhouse is also doing they're doing that adult love interest version of Megan. Remember, we talked about it earlier on the show. Okay. They're doing like they're doing a version of Megan where it's people they create AI companions for people instead of creating AI dolls, toys for girls. Oh. Is it Megan's fault that we now on this AI companion train? Yeah. But Megan was like funny. I think Megan was originally made as like a low budget joke film, and then it blew up because of the TikTok and its memeability and the fact that it actually was an entertaining movie to watch.
Right, but none of this.
They struck gold. I don't think the expectations for Megan going out were super high. I think the return was super high. So now everybody's seen how the reception of that and want to cash in on it.
Hollywood, y'all take the wrong lessons from the wrong
There are
things.
So many different evil AI goes bad movies coming out now, which is so funny because
AI been around though, so is evil robots.
We had Terminator doing this, and I feel like that's when the movies are being taken seriously. Then we had a gap, and now we're right back to the AI taking over the world.
It's like
films.
The strikes ignited a match in people. Like, oh, everybody hates AI, and AI can. That's a totally different topic. Yeah, but. Why are we like focusing all the movies on this? I don't understand why we need like 5 in a year.
Yeah. So basically, the husband sleeps with the AI robot, Megan Fox, and the AI learns the meaning of love or sex or whatever and becomes hostile and only wants the man to herself.
She's a robot.
And is willing to kill his wife, his child. I think his wife is also pregnant. Sure. Or they just had a baby. Maybe. So she wants to replace the wife. Essentially. And it doesn't seem like she's alone. It seems like there are other people who have similar subservient robots. AI robots just like her, but they are all also starting to wake up and have their own nefarious purposes as well. So maybe the world is officially going to be overrun with these like AI robots that want to like kill their owners' lovers.
No. That's my response to this.
Yeah.
No, y'all keep it. And it's got the nerve to be going in theaters.
It looks goofy, and I wouldn't be surprised if it bombs. I also wouldn't be.
You think it's not going to bomb?
I also wouldn't be surprised if it does extremely well. No, sir. I will say that it already has a digital release date. It's set to be released in digital on September 13th, 2024.
That's the day it comes out in theaters.
So, yeah, it's supposed to go out
to
theaters.
So they don't even take this seriously.
And go to digital on the same day.
They're not even.
Because the trailer says it's going to theaters.
If you ain't serious about your movie,
it has a digital release date.
So. I am not serious about your movie. This will not be on the podcast, in case you were wondering.
There's no budget information, so I'm interested to see that. The
$0.00.
the star is Megan Fox. So the rest of these people I don't know. The lead actor seems to be a famous Italian actor.
Oh,
so
good for him. I don't know if this was the movie he should have picked to cross over to the United States.
Next stop on the trailer park is Blink Twice. This is a directorial debut for Zoe Kravitz. This is going to theaters on August 23rd. We talked about this movie on our episode a few episodes ago. The first trailer. This is a second trailer for it, and I like this trailer a lot more.
You didn't like the first?
The plot seems a little different in the second one. So it's still the plot of girl and her best friend go to an island.
We get more in this one. You're right, for sure.
But the original trailer made it seem like the main girl. Hold on, let me pull up the cast list. So Naomi Ackie plays the main character, who goes to the island with her friend Aaliyah Sawkat, who plays Jess. So it's Frida and Jess. And the first trailer made it seem like Frida was going to lose Jess. Jess is going to go missing. She probably dead. And it was going to be Frida on her own trying to figure out what's going on.
You're right.
But this second trailer makes it seem like her and the other women are
Everybody
also
else
waking up to figure out.
Yes.
And that makes it, I was interested in the beginning, but that makes it even more fun that she's not alone. The others are also kind of waking up and becoming conscious.
I kind of wish they would have saved that, though.
Yeah, and now
I like the thought of
it
her
kind of seems
being,
like a team up movie now.
Yes. I like the fact that she kind of wouldn't have been on her own on this island, and she was like the only one that was trying to find her friend or figure out what's going on. Everybody else was either just mind wiped or whatever the secret is, or they were in on it. You can't really tell by the trailer. Yeah. In this trailer, and you couldn't tell by the first trailer. In this trailer, it does seem like everybody else is not aware of what's going on, and they all need to like figure out together, like, what are these people been doing to us? Yeah. So Naomi it still looks good though. Naomi Ackie and Aaliyah Sawkat travel to Channing Tatum's private island. Channing Tatum plays Slater King, who's like this really famous guy. We're not sure what he's famous for, but he's a billionaire of some sort in this world. The money. He invites people to his private island, and it looks like once you get to the island, he drugs you or does something to make you forget everything. Each day. Yes. Because it seems like every night you try to escape, but by the next day you forgot that you tried to escape. You forget what happens the day before. Yeah. It seems like they don't know what day it is. Nobody seems to know when they're leaving. You're definitely you at some point definitely become conscious and try to escape and then snap back into they somehow catch us trying to escape. Yeah, because there are scenes where the character will go to sleep, wake up with dirt under their fingernails. They don't know how they got the dirt there. And then we'll see scenes of them like running through the forest and being dragged back to the house. And somehow people have forgotten her friend. But she still remembers her friend. And also, it seems that people start to go missing. Right. And they somehow forget that people forget that the people were even there, except for Naomi Ackie. And once Naomi Ackie starts to mention that she remembers her friend that went missing, and the other girls are starting to realize as well. So it seems to be fun. I hope it's not. I hope the twist is nothing basic. Like, I hope they were clever about it. I don't even know what I want the twist to be. I just hope it's not something like, it's purgatory or something. Yeah, then I'll be mad. My fear was that it was going to be like they're abducting girls for something nefarious, but there are also dudes there, and it's happening to them too. Correct. So we're not sure. Yeah, I hope it's not some kind of like sex slave situation. Yeah, real mad. We're not sure what the cause is, but definitely Channing Tatum is the bad guy. Yes. He seems to be the one in the know. Even in one of the trailers, it opens up with like we're starting at the end and he's being questioned about what happened. So he's definitely being painted as the bad guy. Yeah. So good trailer too. Yep. I think this is on our list to review. We're going to go see this instead of the Crow remake. I think they're the same weekend. Sorry, Bill Skarsgård. We had to skip the Crow. We like you, Bill. But we will see Nosferatu that comes out. On Christmas. Yeah. We'll be back for you, Bill. Coming back. We loved you in John Wick 4. We did. All right. That is the end of our trailer park visit. Let's dive into this Buncha Crunch. All right. So we only got 2 pieces of crunch this week. First one is Abraham Papula will be in the series Spider-Man Noir as a regular. Yes. And if his name does not sound familiar to you, he was just in the movie Atlas with J-Lo and some other people I don't remember. Oh, Sterling K. Brown.
Yes. We reviewed that on Netflix.
We
go
did. Y'all should go to listen. If you don't watch the movie Atlas, listen to our review.
It was #1 on Netflix for several weeks. So either people watched it or that was some intense payola. But.
Listen, either way, listen to our review after you watch the movie. Yeah. It's very good. And he was also in the Marvels. So he was one of the
played the
Saber.
Asgardian Saber.
He was one of the Saber agents or crew.
Yes, he was on Monica's team. He was one of her close agents.
He was a co-worker.
Yes, he was a co-worker.
So that's good for him.
Friend from work.
I liked him in both of those movies. Even in Atlas, he was cool.
Yeah, I wonder who he's going to play. I wonder if they're going to, like, because he's like a really, really big, tall guy, I wonder if he's going to play like a villain or another hero.
Okay, I'll take either or.
Yeah.
I like Abraham. And then next on our Buncha Crunch list, Kevin Feige confirmed that White Vision series is in the works from Terry Matalas, who is the director for the last season of Star Trek Picard.
Yes, which everybody says is like the best season.
Yeah.
It's been ranked as like the best final season of a series ever.
Okay. Okay. And I think Kevin said that is what this Star Trek series is what made him want to get him on board for White Vision.
Yes, because Kevin is a Trekkie. He's a self-proclaimed Trekkie. He was on some Trekkie podcast, and he said he loves the Star Trek show. So I'm sure Terry was super happy that he got hired to be director for that season.
Listen.
And it got him the job for White Vision. People were surprised about this news because that was one of the few things that wasn't mentioned at Comic-Con.
Oh, none of the TV show stuff.
Maybe they're saving it for D23 because they also didn't mention Armor Wars, and Kevin also confirmed heavy that Armor Wars was still coming.
I think they're literally saving all the TV stuff for D23 because they mentioned not a single TV thing at Comic-Con.
So I need to hear White Vision. I need to hear more Wonder Man news because I feel like Wonder Man is far along at this point.
No, they're done.
Yeah, they're done. They finished filming Wonder Man. So yeah, we need details. We need like a trailer cut together.
Ironheart date.
Yeah, they should absolutely have something filmed for Wonder Man now that I think of it because they haven't even filmed they just started filming Fantastic Four, but Tuesday. They had that whole like ad shot for that whole fake Fantastic Four ad that was like live action with the actors,
which was good because
shot and ready, and I'm sure that took like at least 2 days to film.
They probably did it in one day if they was really working.
I need some shots of Wonder Man.
We need so what else? Agatha they'll probably talk about. Daredevil will probably talk about.
Sneak peeks of Agatha. Daredevil for sure. Charlie Cox said that they're already working. Be there. They're already working on season 2. He said. They're already writing season 2 of Daredevil.
I think he leaked that he was going to be there. I don't know if he was supposed to say that. Yes. But I think he was like, I'm going to be there. And he was like, oh, shoot.
So definitely more Daredevil.
What other shows?
Some Ironheart officially. They've put Ironheart in the can a long time ago.
Oh, What If season 3?
Yes.
And the Eyes on Wakanda series.
Yes.
We need some more news on both of those.
Absolutely. And maybe some details on those 4 unnamed release date slots that they added to the calendar.
And why we added X-Men 97 season 2.
Yes.
We need all that. I don't know how long they panel gonna be, but I need something on all of those that we just mentioned. Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate it.
All right. So that is the end of our movie news, which we really didn't have any. We did a review for Batman anyway. Trailer Park and Buncha Crunch. We're going to take a short break and dive into our review for the week, which is for Trap by M. Night Shyamalan.
Hey.
All right. We are back and we are here to review our movie of the week, which is Trap. This is a movie that is directed by M. Night Shyamalan, released on August 2nd, 2024, so just yesterday when we went to go see it. Also directed by M. Night Shyamalan, The Sixth Sense, which is a legendary film.
Yeah, classic.
Bruce Willis, classic.
Yeah. Signs,
which is Cheryl's favorite M. Night Shyamalan film.
No, sir. It is the next one, which is The Village.
Oh, I thought Signs was. Well, Signs is, it's between Signs and The Village is everybody's favorite M. Night Shyamalan films.
It's probably Signs more than The Village, to be honest.
Yeah, the aliens in Signs are still like people's monumental.
Yeah. Freak out moment. Creepy. Very creepy. And yes.
Also directed by M. Night Shyamalan is Old, which just came out not too long ago. And
that's his latest.
Split,
Glass. I left a bunch of Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Unbreakable.
Yeah. So he got a filmography, y'all.
He does.
If you didn't know, which you should.
Trap doesn't have a heavy cast. Josh Hartnett, who plays Cooper Adams, the main character in Trap, who also is the serial killer.
Butcher.
Ariel Donahue plays Riley Adams, his daughter. Salika Shyamalan plays Lady Raven, M. Night Shyamalan's daughter, who is also a musician in her own career.
Did you know that she is classified as an R&B artist?
No, I would have gave her pop.
But she is open for Boyz II Men, some other artists I don't know, and Summer Walker.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was like, oh,
good for her.
Okay.
Didn't know it was R&B. I mean, she has some R&B-ish sounding songs, but it was like a medley of pop in the.
I was going to say pop. So when I saw R&B, I was like, interesting.
Allison Pill plays Rachel Adams, Josh Hartnett's wife in the film. And the last character I'll mention is Holly Mills, who plays Dr. Josephine Grant. She is the criminal profiler whose voice you can be heard in the trailer, assisting the police in trying to trap Josh Hartnett. Okay.
I don't know if I knew her name the whole movie, her character name.
The Dr. Josephine Adams? No, I just knew that some Dame Judi Dench sounding lady was going to be over the walkie-talkies in the film based on the trailer.
Yeah, okay.
Has a runtime of 1 hour and 45 minutes, which we love.
Yeah.
Great for thrillers and horrors. That's why they're always so great, because they don't keep you there all day.
Get you to the point.
Budget of $30 million. Okay.
Not bad.
Yeah,
I can see
it's
it.
not bad. I can see where they use the $30 million
the stage
here.
of the concert.
Absolutely. The extras.
Right.
Has a box office right now of 6.7 million opening day. Projected to do 14 to 17 million opening weekend. I think that's good. That's like half the box office.
I was going to say, for its budget, it's probably pretty decent.
Yeah. Half the box office back opening weekend is probably most people's dream nowadays.
If it has legs, it will be if it makes its budget back or not.
Absolutely. Rating so far, it's got a cinema score of C+. For comparison, that's the same cinema score that Old got.
So he's consistent.
Yeah, so he's consistent
with himself.
And people still liked Old. So
yeah.
And that's good for C+ is good for M. Night Shyamalan movies where the whole point of the film is to misdirect you.
Yes.
At the end.
Correct. You're right.
Usually misdirections make people upset. So a C+ is a winning score for that.
Right.
Rotten Tomatoes currently sits at a 48% critic score and a 62% audience score, which goes with that C.
Yeah, you're right. Critics don't seem to have loved it as much as the audience.
But critics seem to always be harsh to M. Night Shyamalan films.
I agree.
Also, in addition, I saw a lot of critics on Twitter who were upset about this film. Apparently, he did not do a critic screening for this. It went straight to its grand premiere.
What? There was nothing like an embargo or anything.
Yeah.
Oh,
he didn't hold any critic screenings for this, so a lot of critics were upset. And
he said, y'all see it when they see it.
A lot of people were kind of saying that the reason he wasn't going to have any critic screenings for this is because the movie was going to be bad and he thought it was going to be received well. But apparently he does this with a lot of his films. And he just does not care for screening it for critics early.
I feel like M. Night marches to the beat of his own drum.
He does. And a lot of his movies are self-financed anyway.
No.
So...
No. Hey, I think he has a deal with Warner Brothers too. So, I mean, you know what? I feel like he is in his own lane, and that's okay.
And he's been doing this long enough. He pretty much knows what his scores will be consistently coming out because people seem to give him the same type of scores for every single one of his films. So he's probably like, what's the point of going through the facade of doing a rollout and a fan
y'all
screening
gonna trash
for
my movie
and
anyway.
a critic screening for it when everybody's going to feel the same. So
yeah, fair enough. I mean, it's his movie, so he can kind of do what he wants.
All right. So those are the general details about the film, the stats. Do you want to give us the basic synopsis of what the movie's about?
So Trap is about... a trap for a serial killer who the media has been calling the Butcher, but is actually our lead actor, Josh Hartnett, Cooper Adams. So that is not a reveal or anything in the movie. You know that by watching the trailers. And
I thought it would be the whole way through the promotion and trailers. I was like, the reveal is going to be it's the daughter or something. No, it was Josh the whole way.
Cooper, our character Cooper is the Butcher, and the FBI has set up a trap for him to catch him at this Lady Raven concert because they have caught wind that he gonna be there.
Right.
Now, we don't know on the onset of this movie how they know all of this, but basically they have set up a perimeter around the concert. that any male, so they're specifically looking for a male who leaves, they're going to question because they feel like they're going to be able to catch him at this theater at this concert. And Cooper is basically trying to get out of the trap, and he wants to get, I guess I'm going to go, I don't know where he's going to go, but he basically wants to get out of the concert so that he can get away because he knows that the cops is trying to catch him. Yeah. So that is a pretty easy premise, to be very honest.
I like the fact that it was easy to follow.
Oh, yeah.
I like the fact that we spent most of the time with frantic Josh Hartnett trying to figure out how he was going to get himself out of the situation.
Yes. A bulk of the movie is basically him, and he's not a very, I don't want to call him dumb. He's not dumb. He's not smart, but he's obviously panicked. Like, he's not very smooth about the fact that...
This definitely caught him off guard.
Yes. He's not like, oh, it's okay, I can easily get out of this. He's definitely kind of like every 10 minutes of the movie, he's like, okay, I need to try this.
He wasn't like the type of serial killer who was like super smart and had a contingency plan for everything.
Correct.
He was definitely figuring out on the fly throughout the film.
Right.
So,
it was definitely a what can I do in this moment type of situation.
He didn't feel invincible and uncatchable. So there were moments of tension where you're like, this is absolutely going to get him caught.
Right,
but
right.
So,
and he does various ridiculous things to try to distract the audience, and not the audience, the police and the other concert goers. And it's like, that ain't gonna work either, sir. Right. So yes, he is definitely a frantic serial killer trying to get out of this trap.
Absolutely. Okay, so what did we enjoy about the movie?
The movie did a very good job, and maybe this is where most of the budget went, setting up the concert. Like, I was actually impressed by the concert atmosphere.
Yeah,
so
it felt like being at a concert.
Right. So Lady Raven's putting on her best Beyonce here. She got a full stage. She got dancers, singers. She's singing full songs. Another fun factoid, all of the songs from the soundtrack that she is on are she wrote, which is
nice.
Like 14
I didn't know
songs.
she wrote them. Yeah.
So they did all these extras, like they filled the seats. I wonder how much, or if there was any like CGI of sections of people.
It felt like,
but it
didn't feel like a stadium tour. It felt like a
Schottenstein.
Yeah, it felt like a concert venue.
Okay.
It didn't feel like a Beyonce tour. It didn't feel that big.
It didn't feel that, but they did a very good job of showing that, like, we got all these people coming to this concert. She got the stage. We got lights and cameras and action. So
it definitely felt like 3/4 of the size of like a basketball stadium.
So they did a good
but not like a full stadium tour.
Right, because most of the movie is us at this concert. Right. So they did a very good job of setting us up at a real concert. I do like the fact that this is nepotism, but I don't care. He definitely set his daughter up nice for this movie.
Both of them. This is back to back.
Right, because Shalika, actually, she pretty deep. Like, her music is actually pretty decent.
She reminds me of like a Dua Lipa.
She got Dua Lipa with a little bit of R&B.
The type of songs.
Maybe?
Yeah.
What you say?
Yeah, she's like pop, like modern pop.
Right.
And that was one of my notes, is that I like that the music was believably good.
Yes,
it wasn't like hokey, corny songs that were fake and written for a movie.
Because we had to endure the concert.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that they put effort into like the audience, us as moviegoers, having to watch a concert.
Yeah.
Because it's literally playing through the whole, I don't know, first hour of the movie.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for not giving us hooky, corny, made up, fake concert.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
It reminded me of a little bit of the Birds of Prey album.
Okay. Oh, I get
because a lot of the songs in the Birds of Prey film soundtrack was really good. Like a lot of people, you can hear that being played just like out and about all the time.
I played that soundtrack into the ground.
So this, the soundtrack to this movie kind of reminded me of that, where I could definitely hear this being played like over and over and over again. Even after people stop talking about the movie, they may still be playing these songs. And it includes like collaborations with actual artists.
I looked it up on Tidal, and I'm probably going to give it a spin.
Yeah. So, good for her.
Good job. What else did I like? I like the fact that, it wasn't a bait and switch to where the butcher was the butcher and it wasn't anybody else. We established pretty early that he's cuckoo for Cocoa Pops.
Yeah. So there is a twist.
There is a
we'll
twist.
Get to that in spoilers, but everything that's shown in the trailer is pretty much face value. Like Josh Hartnett is the butcher.
Yep.
And you're with him trying to figure out how he's going to get out of the situation. So it made it a lot easier to follow in that way for me. Okay. Yeah.
Anything else non-spoilery that you want to talk about that you liked?
I like the characters.
Okay.
Josh Hartnett plays a very good crazy serial killer who's like on the brink of like crumpling and falling apart under the slightest bit of pressure.
Tweaking this whole movie.
What didn't work for me was the dad moments.
We agree on that.
I
don't know what the disconnect was.
As
though.
Like the
doting dad.
Yeah, doting, not dorky or dumpy or weird, but
you was getting all the adjectives.
He was like, just like a doting dad who has a younger daughter that he's trying to impress and like learn cool lingo from. That didn't fly for me. It wasn't working.
I don't know if it was the
Josh Hartnett doesn't come across as old enough.
Is that what it was for you?
He just didn't feel old enough.
I don't know why.
And maybe he is old enough. I'm sure he is old enough to have kids and be a dad. If he is, and I just don't know that, so I just don't know that much about Josh Hartnett's personal life. But,
right, which we don't need to. I agree with you. I don't know why the daughter-dad dynamic wasn't working.
But they were both good individually. The daughter, Ariel Donahue, She was good. I liked her. Yeah. She was believable. She wasn't like a kid that was super annoying or super distracting. She was like a regular kid. And I liked the fact that she was reasonably suspicious when he started acting weird.
Right. And she played a very good, like, you know, she's super excited. She was super into like a Lady Raven concert, which made it even more, you could sense her character's annoyance with her dad being weird.
I believed her relationship with her dad.
Okay.
I didn't believe that he was her dad.
Okay.
It didn't feel like he was her dad.
I don't know why that didn't come over right. Them individually fine, but together it was like, I'm not believing this.
I think I just have to settle with he just doesn't come across. For me, he doesn't come across old enough. I guess.
He's definitely old enough. Yeah. So I don't know. But you're right. I agree with you on that.
Yeah. But I liked him as the serial killer. Okay. I liked the criminal profiler.
Yes.
Dr. Josephine Grant, who's played by Holly Mills. We don't see her very often.
We hear her more than we see her. She
shows up more in the second half of the film. She doesn't show up much in the beginning, but we do hear a lot of her. Before we see her, we hear a lot of her over the walkie-talkie.
Yep.
I liked her lines breaking down, like, his serial killer. Apparently, it's explained that her character has like profiled 10 different serial killers
she's helped catch like 10 different. Yep.
So I liked how, as Josh Hartnett is trying to escape, she's narrating the things that he'll probably do.
Yes, I like that.
She's so good at her job. She knows how a serial killer thinks and acts.
Yeah, and I actually like how, as she's talking about it, he's about to do it. And there's some moments where he thinks he's like won, quote unquote. And then the next scene comes and it's like, no, dude, you still here. You still stuck. You're still stuck.
And I like the cameos. It has some fun cameos from actual artists. Like Kid Cudi.
That was a good one.
Who plays like a diva.
He plays another artist. And he's actually in one of the trailers. But he's not even in this for this long, but he does make an impression for the 5 minutes or so that he's
one of the artists that Lady Raven collaborates with, but he's super mean to his assistant and yells at her and tells her everything she does is wrong. He's also lactose intelligent and yells at his assistant for not giving him like lactose-free creamer or something because he's going to poo himself.
It was a very interesting take for that character, but it was a fun addition, I guess.
Yeah, it was fun seeing like them play out this fake concert with real music and then having like real artists coming out
as a guest star,
fake people walking appearing on like conveyor belts and walking backstage and stuff like
I said, the concert aspect of this film was very good. Very good.
Okay, what did we not enjoy about the film?
It starts to fall apart, and we're not gonna spoil yet, but the plot starts to fall apart a little bit towards that third act. It was
the
kind of like
second half of the film is super wonky.
You have to suspend your belief on some aspect of this, but they really asking a lot of us in the third part, and I was like, come on, Shyamalan, pull it together. And he kind of does at the final moments of the film.
It comes together definitely for the third act for me.
Right at the end, right?
Right at the end. We're at the last 10 minutes before the third act finally comes, full circle. And I'm like, ooh, this is good.
Yeah.
But the first half for me was good.
Yes.
The second half was super wonky.
The plot was
super unbelievable.
The writing started just like y'all was just writing whatever.
And it was unbelievable from the beginning of the second act. Like once it started, I was like, this wouldn't happen.
No. Yes. The one thing I did not like is some of the characters made some choices that were like, this is not... No, this just don't make no sense.
What we know
Why
about
did y'all write
what
this
we
like
know
this?
about celebrities and how celebrities operate,
right,
with their security and how they interact with actual fans. This
Just
was kind of written in an unrealistic world where it's like it was written as if the celebrity exists in a world where there aren't a such thing as cuckoo for crazy people out there who also would come to your concert.
Exactly.
So I thought some of the
not even a killer, just regular crazy people
were a little insane.
Right.
I feel like some of the actors who were supposed to be security were a little lax on some of the security.
Even the cops, honestly.
If you know that if you work at the concert venue and because the staff knows that it's set up as a trap.
Everybody, staff, the police, even Lady Raven knows that this is all a trap.
Everybody except for the concert goers are the people who don't know that this is a trap. Josh Hartnett finds out because a staff member tells him.
Right.
But some of the things that they were letting Josh Hartnett get away with is this is why they had the security meeting at the beginning before they opened up the concert with the staff to say, these are the things you need to look out for. These are the things you shouldn't do.
They threw it all out
and
the
they
window?
were just letting Josh Hartnett get away with anything because he was nice.
I didn't buy that, and I didn't buy some of the security measures that were ignored in the second half of the movie. And it kind of took me out of it because I was just throwing up my hands of no, this don't make no sense. No, this don't make no sense.
So some of that you had to suspend your disbelief for.
Right.
And those are the only things I'll say that I didn't like. Non-spoiler.
Do I have anything else that's non-spoilery? No, I don't think so. So we can get into, I would say overall, this is a very typical M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Yeah.
My non-spoiler review in one sentence.
It sits with the rest of his films.
Yes.
It is a good plot with writing that has wonky parts that usually get you in the third act with what the twist is.
You just summed it up perfectly.
It's the M. Night Shyamalan formula that has lasted him this long.
Right. It's not it's not groundbreaking, to be very honest, but the twist almost pays off all the wrongs.
I would say the twist almost pays off all the wrongs.
Right.
And this is definitely one that I would watch again.
Okay.
Some of the M. Night Shyamalan films, for me, I don't rewatch after I figure out what the twist is because it kind of ruins the experience of the build-up.
Mm-hmm.
But I will watch this again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
It was fun.
All right, that's it for non-spoiler thoughts. We are going to get into spoilers in 3, and 2, and 1. All right, so what about the writing that bothered me so much was the fact that Lady Raven invites Cooper and his daughter backstage. And then we get into, but there's the security measures are super lax.
Yeah, so
she's able to get super close. He's able to get super close to this pop star. I mean, she might not have been Beyonce level, but she was still somebody.
This is why it was unbelievable. Because the criminal profiler is so good, and she's narrating, but she's narrating,
voicing over
what his actions are going to be in a way.
Mm-hmm.
The whole film, through the walkie-talkie to the cops.
Yep.
And even though she's telling them all the things to look for, he still slips by
several times in
several areas with several different people who are all supposed to be aware of the fact that this is a
killer
concert. Right. That is mostly in attendance of young girls.
Yep.
Because it's a woman pop artist.
Yep.
And who makes Dua Lipa-esque music.
Okay. Yep. Mm-hmm.
All of the concert goers are young girls.
95%.
They say it was 20,000 people that was in
Something
attendance
like
at the end of the film.
Uh-huh.
So any adult male
should have been flag.
Especially Josh Hartnett. I don't know how tall he is, but he seemed like he was 6 feet in this movie. Mm-hmm. So most of these people in attendance are teenage girls who are all under 5 foot.
Mm-hmm. He sticks out like a sore thumb.
He sticks out like a sore thumb. So I thought it was weird that he didn't get pulled like we see some of the other dudes get pulled. But then when he actually engages people and talks to them, nobody thinks that he's weird.
Not even, and this is in the trailer where he asks the worker, Jamie, like, you know, what's going on? Jamie never once goes, hold on, you might be him. Jamie just converses with the guy like it's nothing.
The criminal profiler gave like 10 different descriptions of what he might look like based on like surveillance
it's like
footage.
A black male, an
that
Indian male, a white male.
They even got him down to the tattoo.
Yeah, on his arm.
And on some of the descriptions.
And nobody was like, hey, you might be that guy.
There's not that many dads here. So, and even though Josh Hartnett doesn't play a convincing dad,
right,
he looks like a dad. So it was the fact that nobody ever pulled him. And then there's a scene when he does get backstage.
Yep.
And we get a M. Night Shyamalan appearance.
Which was also kind of too convenient. M. Night Shyamalan in the movie plays the Lady Raven's uncle. So why don't you just play her dad?
Right.
But anyway, and there's a thing in a concert where she picks somebody out of the crowd and they take the girl backstage. Well, Cooper lies to M. Night Shyamalan's character, who's playing the uncle, saying, oh, my daughter's had leukemia, she's recovering, which basically sets them up to take her backstage.
Because the profiler said that the only way, she said over the walkie-talkie, the only unsecured exit is backstage. So that's why he has to get backstage.
And his daughter says, oh, this is the part of the concert where she picks somebody and the person gets to go backstage. And his character does this like, oh, snap, this is my way out look. And that's when he starts plotting, trying to do that.
And you're the uncle. Yeah. So you're a super adult. You're the uncle of the...
He's like one of the only other 10 men in this place.
Right. Of the performing artist. The police have told you that you all know. They told you from the jump that their serial killer will be here.
Right.
And the one guy who stops and talks to you nervously and overshares doesn't set off any of your alarms because he said that he had a daughter who had leukemia, which is like, wouldn't a criminal profiler know that he's going to make up a story?
Yeah.
I mean, she was already giving us so many clues. She said he was going to like induce panic or do anything he could to distract his way to get out of there.
Too convenient.
It seemed too convenient that you're looking for a middle-aged man, and the one middle-aged man that talks to you has this really convenient story to get backstage about his daughter.
Make no sense.
But tells you not to mention to his daughter that you told him that she has leukemia. So nobody conveniently nobody mentions to the girl like, sorry about your leukemia or something weird that would like set her off.
Because he says to the uncle, like, you know, she doesn't want anybody to know. Like, oh, I mean, okay, y'all.
It seems like nobody was listening in the morning meeting.
They was too busy trying to get sugar for their coffee or something.
Nobody was actually listening to the doctor when she was telling them all of the descriptions.
Yeah, that
of the serial
part
killer.
I was just like, y'all, we have to suspend our belief too much that this would work. But I will say, I did like all the different ways he tried to escape.
I did like that.
So they definitely, and they did it back to back to, like, he never had once he got wind that they were looking for the butcher, he never relaxed.
No.
He was constantly trying to get up out that junk, and he was going to leave his daughter behind to do it.
He would have, there was one of his escape attempts where he made it to the roof. And
yeah.
he would have, I believe, he would have absolutely left her and got out of there had the SWAT team also not been on the roof.
Yeah, because there's one moment where he tells her, they like it's like an intermission or something. Mm-hmm. So they're trying to get food or popcorn, and his daughter is trying to get back to the concert. And he's like, I just need to go this way. And I just need to go that way. And she's starting to get like annoyed, like, Dad, like, what are you doing? And he keeps leaving during the concert. And she's like, Dad, what's going on? Do you not want to be here? So I think at that point he was like, you know what? I'm just going to leave her. And
I like that she wasn't oblivious.
I like
that it was also hard for him to try to keep it hidden from his daughter that he was freaking out.
Because he kept, like, he would make up some, like, I don't even remember all the reasons, but they try to go get a t-shirt. That's where he meets Jamie, but Jamie doesn't have the size. So he's like, I got to go back and get your t-shirt.
Then he forgot his wallet.
He forgot his wallet, and he forgot his car.
He wanted a funnel cake.
Like, he kept making up reasons of why to leave her by herself, and she's like, Dad.
Right.
Cut the crap. Like, what's going on? So I like the fact that she just wasn't like, it's okay. Like, no, you leaving me at this concert we supposed to be at together.
Right.
So I like the realism that they put in that.
All right. So we pretty much like the concert part. Let's talk about the wonk.
So they get backstage. Mm-hmm. We get to Lady Raven on the stage with the daughter. Mm-hmm. And then Cooper is like, boom, we about to get out of here.
Right.
I'm about to go backstage and we booking it. Right. But little does he know, they got more checkpoints behind the stage.
So yeah, there was apparently another checkpoint behind the stage.
Yeah, they had to go through. So, and then Cooper actually overhears Lady Raven and the profiler talking like, hey, have you called him? She's like, nope, not yet. Don't worry. We'll have him in like 20 minutes because we talking to every male in this place.
Right. And that's how we find out Lady Raven is also in the know about the sting operation.
Because at that point we didn't know. We just thought that everybody, like the FBI and the police knew.
Right.
So, but Lady Raven knows, and Josh Hartnett's like, crap, I'm going to either have to go through this checkpoint and they're going to catch me, or I'm going to have to go through the front door and I can't because they're going to catch me.
Right.
So this cat does something that I didn't think was gonna happen. Is he tells Lady Raven he's the butcher.
That part I like.
I was like, wait a minute,
I like
where
the
we about to go here?
I like the twist of him threatening her.
Yeah.
So his plan was, because we know through the whole movie his next victim
is already locked up.
In a basement somewhere.
Right.
Now when he finds out that Lady Raven's in on it, he tells her, I know you guys are looking for me.
Yeah.
So this is where it got wonky for me. I like the fact that he
got wonky.
I like the fact that he revealed himself to her.
Yes.
And he was going to use her as his way out.
Because he says, you need to get us out of here. And if you don't, I'm going to kill this guy on my phone.
What I didn't believe is that she would talk to him on her own. So.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I forgot about that little wonkiness.
When they get backstage, he's like, he tells Lady Raven knows about the lie that his daughter has leukemia. Mm-hmm. So she thinks that the daughter has leukemia.
Right.
So he whispers to Lady Raven like, hey, I want to talk to you real quick about my daughter's condition.
Right.
And ask you something. So she's like, okay, yeah, let's go talk privately. I'm like, she ain't no Beyonce, because Julius would never allow her to talk to a fan one-on-one because in her dressing room with no additional security.
They literally walk from where they're standing, no security around. They walk into a dressing room and it's just the two of them. No security.
You know that the killer is a middle-aged man who's in attendance at this concert.
No,
so
Julius
why would
around.
why would you go have a private conversation away from security and others with the one middle-aged man that you've talked to this entire time?
There's not even security standing at the door.
Even after the profiler told everybody on their walkie-talkie, you'll be talking to him within the next 20 minutes. I guarantee you.
Yep.
And within maybe 5, she was already face-to-face with them.
So he convinces her to take them home, or no, not take them home, take them out of the, I guess, perimeter.
Yeah, because he was like, you could just drop us at a corner.
Right. In a limo. Mm-hmm. And once again, no security. It's the driver.
It's just no security even walks her to the car.
Nope.
Which is weird.
It's the
more
driver.
Security walked her from the bus to the inside of the venue than they did
after the
walking
concert.
her out.
Yeah,
which
so
is weird.
It's the driver, it's Lady Raven, it's Cooper and her daughter. Mm-hmm. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the only people in this limo.
Yeah.
And he is basically now the daughter still don't know what's up, by the way. She's oblivious.
Right.
He's like, he told Lady Raven, just drop us off at the corner and then we about to be out. That's it. Like, and that's his, and I'm like, we still
the
got
lack of security threw me.
And we know something up because there's 45 minutes left of the movie.
Maybe he thought that she didn't need to have so much security because the police were there, but any artist would have. The police are there to catch the killer. They're not here to protect the artist.
Right.
You need to have your own paid bodyguards.
Where
is Julius?
She didn't have one Julius, which was so confusing. She had no
Julius. All she had was a driver who I'm sure didn't have a gun. No. So she didn't even have like an entourage.
She didn't have a taser, mace.
Like she didn't even have, it seemed like she just went to work.
Knife.
She didn't have like any friends. Like if you're a performing artist, you have an entourage.
BFF, right?
You have an entourage of people, or your parents, or somebody, a cousin. She had nobody. It was just her.
Nothing.
So it was so weird that he was able to use her to get out of there.
And it got more.
That only worked because she was alone.
Right. And it got more even wonkier as we going. So then Lady Raven decides that she about to be the police, I guess, and she tells what's the daughter's name? Riley. She's like, Riley, don't you want me to come by your house?
Yeah.
And then Cooper's like, oh, excuse me? So she thinks she about to one up a serial killer.
Yeah. So
by going to the house.
So the reason he did this is because I don't think we said. So the reason it worked, that he was able to use her, was because he showed her the surveillance footage of the guy locked up in the basement, and told her that there's a carbon monoxide bomb in the room, and if he gets caught, he's going to press the button and kill the guy. So the only reason she's going along with this, so she doesn't have a murder on her hands.
Exactly. Which, okay. But it wouldn't have been her fault. But
I had 100% didn't believe that her being a musician
Mm-hmm.
or any regular person would put themselves in
That
harm's
much
way,
danger?
would go like rogue. She went rogue.
She literally did. Also, the driver has no idea what's going on.
Yeah, and the driver
just driving along.
And this is why she had to have security, because when you have real security, you can't just change course or change your destination. You have to coordinate.
You can
with
maybe
security.
go to like McDonald's,
yeah,
but you're not going to a fan's
you can't
house.
change your in destination to go to some fully unvetted stranger,
right? Unannounced. Just be
Yeah.
like, oh, by the way, we going over to Riley's house. Just have a kickback. Like you can't do that as
Julius wouldn't go for that.
Yeah, so that's where it got more wonky, and I guess maybe M. Night was trying to insert his daughter into like a bigger picture of this movie, which he did, because she was like main cast at that point.
Yeah.
She wasn't just the concert anymore. She was after the concert.
Yeah, so one of my random notes was that
Mm-hmm.
it kind of felt like she was about to be the final girl. Because
you did.
I leaned over to her. I was like, I said, this is almost like a completely different movie.
It is.
Where we're not even at the concert anymore. And the concert part, this is an hour and 45-minute movie.
Yep.
I want to say the concert section of the film ends exactly 1 hour into
Yes.
the movie.
You are
the
correct.
last 45 minutes is a completely different film.
Yeah. It's like we have left the trap.
We've left the trap. We're now at his home.
Right.
Because he also has a wife and a son who didn't go to the concert.
Right.
The concert apparently was a father-daughter trip.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I thought the whole movie was just going to be him as a single father, because that's how it was kind of advertised.
Yeah.
So it's a whole family.
Mm-hmm.
And her plan, which
I don't know what
is
her plan
unbeknownst
was.
to us,
Right.
her plan is to bide enough time to try to figure out how to save the guy.
Yeah.
Because I don't see how she got to where she. So basically,
it got even more wonky.
she bides enough time in the house,
Yeah.
acting like a visitor, faking like a visitor,
Right.
to where she snatches Josh Hartnett's phone
Yeah.
while she's distracted the family with a piano.
Yeah, she
song.
tries to take a selfie with his phone
Yeah.
with her and her daughter.
She snatches his phone to take a selfie, and then immediately takes it and runs into the restroom and locks the door.
And he loses it.
So for about 5 minutes, we're in the bathroom with her.
Yeah.
While we hear Josh Hartnett
Banging on the door.
banging on the door, being frantic, and his wife and kids are like
Trying to figure out why he's frantic.
wondering why he's freaking out.
Right.
So she gets on FaceTime.
It
Or
looked
live.
like IG Live.
She gets on IG Live.
Basically.
She frees the guy by getting on IG Live and using her viewers, her fans. She describes the
Location of where the guy says that he is.
yes, because she took Josh Hartnett's phone. She asked the guy over the intercom, like him to give his best recollection of where he might have been kidnapped to. So he gives her the description of the neighborhood and the color of the door of the house that he's hidden in.
Statues and stuff like that.
And she gives the description to all the fans viewing on the live, and they're able to successfully locate him and free him.
Yep.
So now we're trying to figure out, okay, so what's your escape plan? That was a little weird for me too.
Yeah, it was. Her taking the phone and going into the bathroom was weird, because he's like banging on the door and it takes too long.
Yeah.
He should have broke down that door in 30 seconds flat.
Yeah.
But instead the character gets enough time to do what she needs to do. And it's just like, I don't believe this. But then we start turning the tide a little bit back towards reality or sanity.
Right.
Towards the end of the movie.
So the guy's been freed by random viewers on her live. Salika, Lady Raven, has successfully convinced the wife and the kids that he is the butcher.
Right.
So his plan is to kidnap her and go on the run.
That don't work out.
That doesn't work out.
So we go to the next plan.
Because the wife and kids stand in front of the car to try to stop him from leaving.
And he leaves through a tunnel he's pre-built in the house, and that's how he gets away.
Yeah. So
and that ain't even the end of the movie.
That's not even the end of the movie. So he gets away. Kind of. The police lose him at least.
Yeah.
But the wife has sent the kids off to be with the aunt. We get a scene with the wife and the doctor. which I thought was really good. And I have a note about that. So the wife has sent the kids off to stay with the sister. And
which I was very confused about.
But the wife is staying at the house, and I thought that was so strange.
Why would she not be with your kids?
The doctor asked her, like, are you sure you don't want to you take our offer? We can put you and the kids up somewhere separately together. And the wife is like, no, I don't want to be around people. And I thought that was so weird because I'm like, your husband
is on the run
that you've built a family with all along has been a crazy serial killer.
Right.
Why would you want to be alone in the house?
It didn't make no sense
and
initially.
You know that he hasn't been caught. Doesn't make any sense initially. None. So this is when we get to the third act. And this is my favorite act of the movie.
Agree.
So the doctor leaves. Well, first of all, the wife asks the doctor, I hear that you do seminars on these
lessons or something.
These types of things. You're criminal profilers, serial killers. She was like, where can I get that info? Where can I attend one of those or listen to one of those? And the doctor basically tells her, like, she's asking because the wife wants to know if it's her fault that she didn't realize.
If there's something she could have picked up on before.
And the doctor basically tells her, like, it's not your fault. These types of crazy people, they can only be recognized by their parents. Usually. But after that, they become so good at their double life that nobody else would have been able to pick up on it after the fact.
Yep.
So the doctor and the police, the doctor leaves. The police are waiting outside. We hear. But the mom is in the house by herself making tea.
She's making tea, all right.
And of course, Josh Hartnett shows back up.
Scares the bejesus out of her. And I love how they always, whenever there's tension in the house, they always make the character make tea. Because you're waiting for the loud
tea whistle.
Exactly.
That ramps up the
tension.
The tension in the scene.
What's going to happen next?
And this is my favorite part because basically Josh Hartnett sits at the dinner table with a cleaver.
Meat cleaver. A fresh, shiny one too, y'all.
And
clean.
And he starts talking. He tells the wife, like, I thought it was weird. And this was what I also thought was weird.
What?
How the detectives knew that he was going to be at the concert.
I actually forgot
how do you know
about that aspect.
If you don't know the identity of the butcher, how would you know that he would be and it didn't seem like there wasn't anything about his murders that was consistent. Like, they weren't all kids, they weren't all girls.
We actually don't know anything about any of the murders except there's like 10 of them.
There was some, they didn't say that he goes after a certain type of person. Nope. He just butchers random people. So how would you know that he would be in attendance at this random concert?
Right.
So, and that was Josh Hartnett's question. Because he sits down and he's like, the whole time I was wondering why the trap would be set up at the concert. How would they know that I would be there? And he was like, but then it dawned on me, what if the trap was the house?
Right.
And then he was like, but who would set up that type of trap? Who would know or give them who would have enough information to give them a tip? And he was like, but then it dawned on me that all those late nights I spent out committing all those murders, he was like, he looks at his wife and says, you probably thought I was cheating.
Yep. And she was like,
and that wasn't the best part of it. The best part of it was that she was like, yeah, I did think you were cheating.
Right. And that's how she started down the path of piecing together that this man actually might be a serial killer.
So the twist at the end was that the wife
was behind the whole thing.
The twist is that the wife pays attention to everything. And
Women's intuition.
She doesn't forget a single thing, and she doesn't let a single thing slide. So basically, she saw him tell a lie to one of the neighbors one time.
Yep.
And she was like, the lie was so good.
And
the lie was so convincing. She was like, it was so crazy to see you be able to come up with a lie like that. She was like, even I would believe the lie. It was a lie about being late trying to find parking.
Yeah.
She was like, the lie was so convincing.
It didn't sit right with her. She was like, how did this man lie so well?
She said, and then you would come home late. And she said, I thought it was cheating, but then she said that sounded too easy.
Right. And then she mentioned the cleaning. She said that he's a firefighter. I don't think we mentioned that. His real life profession is a firefighter. And she said the cleaning of your clothes didn't smell like firefighter cleaning. It smelled like hospital.
Yeah, it sounded like what they used to clean hospital.
Like he was trying to get rid of blood and guts.
Right.
Not fire smoke.
So then he says, so then he guessed, he's like, so then you probably followed me. And she said, and then I followed you. But this was the funniest part. The part that she followed him to one of his houses because apparently under his butcher identity, under a secret identity, he owns a whole bunch of abandoned houses.
Right, where he goes to think and do his work.
That he does his murders in.
Right.
He doesn't do his murders at the family home. He does his murders at any of the random houses that he owns.
There's a backup house for that.
Under a ghost name.
Ugh.
She followed him to one of his houses.
Mm-hmm.
But the funny thing about it wasn't the one house she followed him to was a non-murder house.
Nope.
It was just a house that he goes to think.
Process his thoughts and plan.
She says, I followed you to one of your houses. Mm-hmm. She said, the only thing in the house was a table and a chair.
Yep.
Nothing suspicious was in the house.
Nope.
But she said, I had a receipt from the one time I went through your wallet from when you went to the concert. And she said, I had a hunch. Either you could be the cheating on me or you were the butcher. So
or
she
neither.
said, or neither. Basically what she said was, I was going to get an answer. Either way. Some sort, whether you were cheating, whether you were the butcher, or whether you were innocent of everything. But she said the only way I could do it was
to follow through.
So I left the receipt at a house that couldn't have been yours.
Right.
It could have been somebody else's. It could have been nothing.
She said she ripped it on purpose to make it look like it was like accidentally left.
She said, but I knew just enough to just leave the receipt and called the police and gave them a tip to just look at the house.
Right. He said he when he realized that the house was busted, he never went back. So he didn't even realize that the receipt was like either left or missing or anything.
Right.
Because he never went back.
She just had a hunch that if she could get the receipt to the police, they would be able to figure out whether or not.
Take the tip and run with it.
Right. And she would get her answer, whether he's the butcher or whether he's not the butcher.
Right. Because she said she was like, something was going to be proved. And if I was proven right or
she was like, I was
wrong,
either going to be proven right or proven wrong, but I was going to get an answer.
Right.
And I loved it. I loved the fact that she had a hunch.
Her acting in this scene, best scene of the movie.
She was terrified.
Scared.
Now, this is somebody.
She's snotting and tears running down her eyes and everything.
This is a character that was introduced in the last 20 minutes of the film.
She's very ordinary looking. Plain. She don't stand out or anything.
The fact that he had a living wife was a surprise to me.
Right.
When they introduced her. So when I was like, okay, we're going to the house. We're going to see the wife. They never advertised the wife. They never mentioned the wife the whole movie. So I thought it was going to be stunt casting. I thought it was going to be like an actress that we recognized and knew from something.
Which would have cued us in on, something's going to happen with this character. Because they wouldn't cast so-and-so for nothing. Right.
And she has a lengthy filmography. Listen, she's a Tony Award winning actress, but I just didn't recognize her from anything. So when
credits. Okay.
When she came out of the house, I was just like, oh, okay, she's not. This is just another character.
Right. Just his wife.
Is going to have like a small role in this film. But her acting in this scene was so convincing as somebody who was terrified. That she was relieved because she was right. But she was terrified because she didn't know whether she was going to get her head lopped off or not.
I love the fact that she knew that man was coming back. And she knew that he was coming back for her. And what made it so good is the fact that she is like beyond scared. She thinks she about to die.
This could go wrong.
Right. It was to her, she was like, it's worth it. It's worth me knowing if you are actually who I think you've been. For how many years it's been, and it's worth it to know that my trap actually works.
And I love the fact that this whole third act was her plan.
It was.
And she went according to plan. So she ends up defeating him, essentially.
Let's not forget the part where she poisoned the pie.
Yeah. So she ends up defeating him by offering him a slice of pie one last time. Baked. It was Riley's celebration pie.
Yep.
For her grades, because she got good grades to go to the concert. And she cuts 2 slices of the pie, serves him one.
Nervously, because she's shaking and crying at this point.
Plates it, gives him one, gives him the other, and they're sitting down to eat it, and he's telling her, like, this isn't going to delay it. As soon as I'm going to eat this pie in like 5 bites. And how much
he hates her because he's not going to see his kids.
I'm going to lop your head off. And she's eating the pie and crying because he's giving her the speech of, you've ruined my life, I'm never going to see my kids again. And she's probably in her mind like, neither am I, because you're going to kill me at this dinner table.
He actually says this is about to be a murder-suicide.
Yeah, he said this is going to be a murder-suicide.
And he's about to just end it off.
So as soon as he finishes the pie, he realizes that she's poisoned the pie with the same stuff that he uses to poison his victims to kidnap them.
Because she grabbed his bag while the police was out doing whatever they wasn't doing.
So when
she grabbed his stuff,
his bug out bag,
because she knew he was coming back, and was like, not only am I going to wait for him to come back, I'm going to try to get him one last time and poison a man's piece of pie.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So she set the trap herself. She sent the kids away. She made sure that there were still a police detail at the house.
Yep.
Just in case she needed the backup.
Right.
She knew he was going to be good enough to sneak in the house because he snuck away from the police.
House. Right. Which they haven't discovered that.
And she knew the plan was to kill him with the pie.
Yeah. Listen, favorite character of the whole movie.
She was so good.
And she didn't come into the last 20 minutes.
MVP. She was so smart.
Acted her butt off. Okay.
So the wife ended up being the final girl because she was the one who ended up taking down the killer.
Basically.
Solo. So convincing. I totally believe she was terrified. I totally believe that she believed it could go one way or the other.
And she was willing to risk it all. Go wife. Okay?
So after he realizes that he's been poisoned by his own product, the police come in and tase him.
To death almost.
To death
I thought he was dead, but he wasn't.
But they tase him and take him into police custody. They're walking him out. The kids show back up at the house.
One final goodbye.
Because it was all a trap.
Right.
The kids show back up at the house. Riley gives him a goodbye hug. He has OCD, so he can't leave before propping the bike up.
Yeah, because it's a bike that looked like it got knocked over in the yard. He picks the bike up, and then that's his final walk of shame.
They put him in the police car and drive off, and the wife goes back into the house.
Bit of wonkiness here. He's in a police car by himself.
Yeah, they put him in the back of an armored paddy wagon.
No window, no nothing.
They put him in the back of an armored paddy wagon on surveillance. That was weird. And the last shot of the film we get is the fact that we get a close-up of the bike.
The bike tire.
And he somehow, with sleight of hand, removed a whole spoke out of it.
I ain't no bike expert, but I don't think you can remove a spoke from a bike.
Not that quickly.
In like 2 seconds.
You can't snap it like brittle. Otherwise, the spokes would serve no purpose
unless he had already set that up.
If they were so fragile.
Listen, suspending our belief moment for sure.
So he had sleight of hand snapped a spoke off of the bike tire, and he's using that to uncuff his cuffs. And it fades to black because we know that he's the master of getting away. So we know he's gonna get away. Yeah. So at the end of the trap movie, the traps technically did not work because our killer is still alive, despite the wife's awesome effort. So I still give it to her. From the wife. She still defeated the killer. I'm in my own canon, the wife and the kids bounced, and they are good. Yeah. In my head canon, the wife absolutely knows it's not the last of him. So as soon as she closed the door, they started packing. Okay, listen, they in Georgia by the time the movie credits was rolling, they was already out the state. Okay, so favorite line or favorite scene? I think we gonna say the same thing. The wife scene is my favorite scene. She acted her butt off, and she didn't even have to, but she did. And the fact that she had the intuition to set her husband up, not even knowing if she was 100% right. She just knew she was going to get an answer of some sort. And then was like, I'm going to finish it off because I'm going to poison this man. Because he's crazy. Yeah. And the fact that she had a plan and she followed it through. And even though he has OCD and he was very meticulous about a lot of things, she was more meticulous. She was more on top of it. And that don't even make me mad that he made it. Like, because typically some of these movies, you're like, oh, that's stupid. Y'all should have just killed him. But the wife tried it. Okay. She did. That was enough for me to be like, hey, she did a good job. She saved herself. She saved her kids. She sure did. She took them down. She sure did. She did it the safe and long way. The most effective. Right. So it was, I loved that scene. That was that was my favorite scene. There's no question about that at all. Final words about the movie and our rating. If you like all of M. Night Shyamalan's other movies, you'll probably get some enjoyment out of this. Was it his best movie? His favorite movie? Not of mine. Right. But I would watch it for one, the concert, because it was pretty good. Yeah. Two, and I would watch it for that final twist at the end. I think it's worth that. I'm gonna give it 3.5 Nicole Kidmans. I'm gonna give it a 4. Okay. I'm taking off a whole Nicole Kidman for the second act. Okay, I feel like fair. That's equal. I think I'm taking 1.5 off of that. The second act is for the one Nicole Kidman. It was just how we got to the third act didn't quite work for me. It was a little bumpy. It just was a little everything was realistic up until the part where Lady Raven is so gullible, has decided to be an FBI agent, has no security the circumstances were a little too coincidental that he was able to get as far as he got into the second act. Too far from reality. But the third act did bring it back in. Right. to reality with how convincing the wife was as being like the scared woman who was determined to get to the truth.
Right.
And it didn't take, I love the fact that it didn't take her a lot of convincing that it was him. She knew it was him. The second act, when Lady Raven is trying to give the wife clues because she doesn't know that the wife knows.
She plays it off like she's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
When when Lady Raven brings up, have you heard of the butcher? And the wife is like, yeah, I've heard about him.
I had nightmares about it.
When Lady Raven brings up her jewelry twice, jewelry came up twice.
It did.
She brought up how she thought the antique necklace the daughter had was interesting. She brought up how the antique ring that the daughter had was interesting. The antique necklace that the wife had was interesting. And then in the third act, the wife was like, the jewelry also kind of set me off. And I love the fact that even though Lady Raven was giving the wife clues and the wife played it off like she was oblivious, in the third act, the wife was like, yeah, the Lady Raven was the slow one.
Right.
I knew.
It was also funny because when he's about to escape with Lady Raven and the family's in, he lifts up the garage. I actually thought it was going to be the cops, but it's actually the family standing in his way. He was like, how did y'all get out of there? And he was like, oh, there's a window in Riley's room because that's where he locked him at. He said, I've never seen this house from somebody else's perspective. Yeah. And I was just like, you ain't as smart as you think you are, Mr. Butcher. Wife was on it. Okay. It might have took her a little bit, but she was on it.
So it's a 3.5 Nicole Kimmons for you. It's a 4 for me. I definitely think it's worth the rewatch. I do hope it does well in theaters. I think that Josh Hartnett deserves another box office hit after Oppenheimer. I definitely want to see him more stuff.
I was going to say, I want to see Josh. Now, granted, the dad role didn't quite click here. No. But the serial killer role, perfect.
He did great for that.
He did good for that.
Definitely want to see the wife and more stuff. Absolutely. I mean, she doesn't seem to be struggling career-wise anyway.
Just Wikipedia
she seems to be
her,
doing
y'all.
Quite well.
Scroll through the filmography, and she's been in like a lot of things, and she deserved it because she did.
So I hope to see her in more stuff. And I thought that Salika's acting was okay, but I did like the music. Yeah. So I thought the music was good.
Alison Pill, in case you forgot this fast, is the actress who plays the wife.
Yes, Alison Pill was really good. So I think 4 is fair, removing one hole for the middle, but the music and that third act definitely helped a lot.
I would even give it a quarter extra for the music because I quite enjoyed it.
All right, that is our review for Trap by M. Night Shyamalan starring Josh Hartnett. Go see it out in theaters.
Check it out.
What are we reviewing next week?
Next week is Borderlands, which is a movie they don't seem to be promoting.
No. We had fun at the offsite, but
offsite was cool. We got free drinks.
I do remember being in line at the offsite. Like, I haven't seen a lot of ads for this.
Not you in the offsite for a movie. Like, I ain't heard much about this movie.
Well, when the second trailer, the official trailer came out, it surprised me that I didn't discover the second trailer until like 3 days after it had dropped, and I was like, where was this?
Now
because it actually looks fun.
The rumor mill is behind the scenes wasn't so great.
No, it's been in a lot of development trouble. Yeah. So, yeah.
It looks entertaining, though. So, hopefully
there's been some, like, directors to actors to executives behind the scenes
I don't
drama.
want this on Kate Blanchett's record, y'all. No. Make this good.
The vibe check, though, based on the trailer, it's given Dungeons and Dragons close to.
It's given Dungeons and Dragons / Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah. So fun ensemble cast. The story is going to be ridiculous. Okay. Visually, it's going to be pretty good. The story looks ridiculous, so I'm not holding out hope for that. But I'm looking to have a good fun time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that'll be our next episode. Don't forget to check us out. Thanks for listening. If you like our show, please share it. You can leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or on our website, vaguelynerdypodcast.com, where you can also leave us a voice message that we can play on our show if it is polite and nice. You can follow us on Twitter at vaguelynerdypod or Instagram at vaguelynerdypodcast. And if email is your thing, you can email us at vaguelynerdypodcast@gmail.com. Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.